ALL. I'm going to speak very briefly today about procedure in this case from a prosecution standpoint and address the charges just for a few moments. I'm not at liberty to take questions, so it'll be very brief, and what I've got to say is what I've got to say. So Kentucky law requires in a case like this that a probable cause and detention hearing be held within 48 hours of apprehension, and that has been scheduled. The probable cause hearing is much like a preliminary hearing for an adult case. We will present evidence indicating that the crime has been committed and that this defendant committed the crime. The second phase of that hearing is what's called a detention hearing, and that's analogous to what would be a bail hearing for an adult charge. Following the conclusion of that hearing, we will be filing paperwork to classify this defendant as what's called a youthful offender, and that is the process to charge him as an adult. So please don't get caught up in the term youthful offender. We have been in consultation with the Commonwealth Attorney's Office, who's represented today by Jacob Ford, and that is the plan to ask the court to certify him as an adult. At that point, the grand jury in Marshall County is scheduled to meet on February the 13th. There are no plans to schedule a special grand jury at this point. So we anticipate that the case will be ready to be presented at that time. All the investigations are still ongoing, but we're making very good progress. The last thing I want to talk about is address the charges. Yesterday, the commissioner told everyone that there would be 2 counts of murder and 12 counts of attempted murder. The 2 counts of murder have been charged. The 12 counts of attempted murder right now will be assault first. Now, I want to emphasize that assault first and attempted murder carry the same penalty. The reason for that is that it's based on the information that we have right now. Attempted murder is an offense which takes into account motive and specific intent. Assault first, the elements to that offense are serious physical injury by means of a dangerous instrument. So as of right now, we believe that the better case is an assault first charge as opposed to attempted murder. And again, I want to emphasize the penalties for assault first and attempted murder are the same. Okay? That is also subject to change. The investigation is ongoing, evidence still being collected and processed. The grand jury in this case, which I said would be, unless something changes, February the 13th. The grand jury will have the final say-so on this case as to what charges are to be brought. So once that happens, it will be transferred to Circuit Court, Marshall Circuit Court, and at that point, it becomes a public case. Until that point, everything remains confidential. All proceedings are closed. Only essential court personnel, victim parents, a defendant and his parents will be the only ones allowed in the courtroom. And that's really all I have to say at this point regarding the process and procedure and the stage of the investigation. At this point, I'll turn it over to Superintendent Trent Lovett.
My name is Trent Lovett, L-O-V-E-T-T, Superintendent of Marshall County Schools. First and foremost, our thoughts and prayers are with our victims. Second, I would like to thank our staff, our administration, our students. They were phenomenal in the way they handled the situation yesterday. Several acts of heroism. I'm very proud of them. Our first responders, many of them that are up here with us, were on the scene quickly, and they handled the situation tremendously. With that being said, I would like to give our plans. We've had some recommendations about when to start school back, and I know there's been some questions about that. From across the nation, we've been listening to some advice, and they think we need to get back to normalcy as soon as possible. So beginning tomorrow, We will have our elementary schools and middle schools will be in session at regular time. Parents will be allowed to attend school with their child if the need be. Buses will run at normal time. However, the high school will not be in session tomorrow. We will give further information about when the high school will be in session as soon as we can determine that. But that's the information that we have. We appreciate you being here. And again, our thoughts and prayers are with our victims.
Superintendent, what information can you give us